So today we're going to talk about System Center Operations Manager Beta 2012 and how to auto-populate servers with registry key discoveries. And this will be the first of two videos. So to begin with, we're going to create a management pack, and I'm going to call it Information System, and this will just simulate having an IS department with subdepartments and subservers, categories such as Exchange, DPM, IAS, maybe servers that relate to applications, distributed applications and whatnot. So we're going to come down to the authoring pane. And we're going to create a new attribute. And I have a cheat sheet here where I copied my registry key. So we're going to paste that into our new attribute. So I'm going to call this Windows Computer by Management Group. And I think in the original conversation that I had about doing dynamic computer discoveries based on registry, we were dealing with different management groups. So the first object that we're going to pick is Windows Computer Extended. We're going to target it to our management pack. Paste in the registry key that we're looking for. And set up the discovery. And it may be overkill, but I also set this up for the health service and the health service watcher. Because in the past, I believe when I started organizing computers in groups, we wouldn't see health state related things or agents bouncing, so this was a way to help flesh out the alerting within the subgroups that we're going to aggregate the computers to, or servers to. So once again, we're going to pick value, paste in our registry key, and right now I'm going with the default frequency, but eventually you would want to probably make this a 24-hour effort. Then, depending upon the nature of what you're doing, you could also disable this discovery and then target it via overrides. And in part one, we're just going to go with a simple scope my servers into the test servers view. But later on, we'll get into how you can take this registry key and you can actually put colons. So you give it colon like test, colon exchange, colon virtual machine, and perhaps that server is all of the above, so it would live in all three subgroups. So the next step here is we're going to create a group for our test servers, put it in the Information Systems Management Pack that we created. I'll just call this one test-all test servers. I like to keep similar naming conventions for things. If I'm creating services, I'll put service dash, or processor, be process dash. Maybe we're looking for events, so event dash, and then what you'll find is as we add more groups that relate to this. We'll call it, say, test dash exchange servers or whatnot, just so that you can easily find the things that you're looking for. If you have to look for a needle in a haystack, for instance, like you don't remember where that process lived. Now what I'm doing here is I'm choosing each extended class that I'm looking for, and then I'm adding each group. I'm going to insert it. And the reason I'm doing it this way is it's very easy to mess this process up. As you can see, I added an extra key by accident instead of adding a whole new class. So once we do that, we're going to scope it by switching to OR and then choosing each subclass. So Windows Computer, we're picking our Windows Computer by management group, contains, and within our main registry key we have :test to signify this is a test server. And we're going to pick each of our attributes, put contains, and then test. And this is a tricky part. If you don't scope it correctly, the discovery won't be applied. So it should be object is Windows Computer Extended, and you should see a bunch of ORs. And I'll go ahead and post, once I get a confirmation of my discoveries, I'll post an example of the options that I picked. So once you have your groups in place with the dynamic discovery applied to it, choose your information systems folder or whatever folder you're putting your test servers in. And we're going to call this one test environment. And then we'll just make this test registry key represent all test servers. And now you can set up your state view or your alert view, and you can scope it to the group. All test servers. And then eventually when we get into alerting, we'll start actually scoping some subscriptions off of these subgroups to where you can better control who gets what type of alerts. Maybe your business analysts get certain type of application development, your app versus platform, and so on. So we're going to pick active alerts with specific resolution state of new, so we can see all the active alerts. In state view, we just look at any entity within our scoped group. And once the discovery takes place, you should start seeing servers being populated in these views. Now, I haven't had a lot of success with this, but what we're going to try to do is search for that _extended under object discoveries in the authoring pane on the Wonder bar. And we're going to do an override on the group for test servers. And we're going to attempt to bump the frequency down that it does the override to 2 minutes. This has not been successful for me, and typically it seems like it takes 24 hours or so for the discovery to work. And there are a lot of moving parts, so it's entirely possible that I could have scoped my automatic discovery incorrectly, but I believe that I didn't do that, and it just takes time for this to go through and discover each of the servers. So, but just as an experiment, we're going to override each one of these discoveries and change the frequency to 30 seconds, or 60 seconds rather. Now, in a production environment or your test environment, once your initial discovery has taken place, I would recommend doing these every 24 hours, just so that there's not a lot of overhead. So as you can see, we'll go back to our alert and state view, and for now we don't have anything. So in the next video, I will demonstrate the various objects and their containers.